Alright. First and foremost, I want to say call hello. I'm like how Basham Yahushai, Basham Rakal Kodash. This is Ariel from GMS Tampa Bay 07 to GMS 13 rulership. As you can see on the screen, we're going to get into some more of Esau's wickedness, man. And you wonder why we, the brothers who read the Bible, are so upset with our lives here in America. Because we're surrounded by wickedness. As you can read at the top of the screen there, it says, this is the title of the video. Tampon alternative lets women have sex while on their period. Lets women have sex while on their period. On the bottom it says, tampon alternative lets you have mess-free sex on your period. That's disgusting. Alright, I'm just going to play it. I don't think there's any sound to the video, but we're just going to play it. Read it. It's a little contraption you put in your pum pum. It's gross. They're going to show all the Edomite women loving it. A San Francisco startup is behind a new tampon alternative called Flex. It uses a curved disc-like design similar to menstrual cups. Flex sits against the cervix and creates a barrier to block blood. It's about 3 inches in diameter, and you insert it in by squeezing it flat and pushing it towards your cervix. It can be worn for up to 12 hours, which is a 4 hour longer than the length of time of tampons recommended to be worn. And both you and your partner can barely feel it during intercourse. The company's CEO, Lauren Schluck, said women tell us that forget they're on their period while it's disgusting. It allows couples to increase their opportunity to have sex by 22%. And as if that wasn't enough, Flex is hypoallergenic. It doesn't use BPA plastic. Oh, that makes it great. Doctors recommend it. Doctors falsify shit. Of course you will, you fucking dirty Edomite. Of course you will. Alright? So this is where we're at right now. This is where we're at right now. The menstrual cup. Alright? This is the menstrual cup. Push it in your vagina. You forget it's there, you leave it in there for all day. Dirty, stinking plastic piece of rubber piece of shit. Alright? And Esau's going to start peddling this to the women of America. Alright? Esau, the so-called white man. I guarantee you that whatever that girl's name was, Karen Schlucht, I bet she's an Edomite. I'm not going to look her up right now, but I just imagine her being an Edomite. For the sake of argument, we'll say she's an Edomite. And if she's an Israelite, well, that just shows you the wickedness of our women. I'm just going to tell you something about this. When a woman is on her period, her menstrual cycle, she's supposed to be unclean. You're supposed to abhor her. You're supposed to avoid her at all costs. You're not supposed to try to have sex with her, man. That's not biblical. And there's reasons for that. There's a reason why she's unclean. We're going to get to some of the scriptures real quick. Alright? When a woman's on her blood, when she's having her blood cycle, alright, you're really supposed to avoid her and avoid everything she touches. Alright? The Most High sets us up in ways so that we don't defile ourselves. The Most High doesn't want us to be defiled. We're supposed to be separate from these other nations. Alright, that's what we're supposed to be separate. We're supposed to be holy. Alright? Let's get the scripture. Not that one, this one. Yeah, man, we're supposed to be holy. So holy means separate. This is what these other nations do. The other nations don't care. Alright? But we're supposed to have respect for our Lord. All right, so let's look here. This is the book of Leviticus. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 15. We're going to start at verse 19. It says, "And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood," okay, it's talking about her menstrual cycle. All right, just to make that clear. "And her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the evening." Okay, so if a young woman, if she's on her period, and her period comes in, she's supposed to be set apart 7 days from the rest of the people. Okay, and whosoever toucheth her. So if you bump into her, you touch her, you put your hand on her shoulder, excuse me, you are unclean now. Okay, you're unclean until the evening, and you're supposed to bathe. It's good, and it gets into this. Verse 20, "And everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean. And whosoever touches her bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening." Okay? So you're not supposed to touch anything that she touches while she's on her period. That's what God said. "And whosoever toucheth anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. And if it be on her bed or anything wherein she sitteth," so basically if any of her discharge, her menstrual discharge, her blood, if it gets on the bed or if it gets on anything, okay, when she toucheth it, he shall be unclean unto the evening. So you're unclean. All right? Can't be touching nothing that she touches. She's supposed to be set apart. This is the time where she's completely unclean to the man until that period is over. All right? Where was I? And if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him, it says flowers is talking about her blood. Okay. All right. So if that menstrual blood gets on you, that discharge, all right, gets upon you, well, you're trying to pop her, because you're already unclean when you touch her. You just touch her on her shoulder, you're unclean. But it says you try to lie with her, and her flowers be upon him, talking about that blood, he shall be unclean 7 days. Oh boy. So now it's pushed to 7 days, not just to the evening. And all the bed wherein he lieth shall be unclean. So that bed is completely unclean now, because you tried to lie with her. You didn't know. Now you know, whatever the case is, it just so happened that she was on the period while you were trying to lie with her. You didn't know. Now you're unclean 7 days, bro. Okay? And that whole bed is defiled. Verse 25. "And if a woman have an issue of her blood many days out of the time of her separation, or if it run beyond the time of her separation," meaning if the period goes beyond normal times. So like, if it goes beyond 7 days or whatever the case is, "all the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation." She's still unclean. Okay, this is just because the time period is over. It doesn't mean she's clean now. No, she's still having discharge. She's unclean. All right? "Every bed whereon she lieth, all the days of her issue shall be unto her as the bed of her separation." So it's still dirty and defiled. "And whatsoever she sitteth upon shall be unclean as the uncleanness of her separation. And whosoever touches those things shall be unclean, and shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening." Okay, so the same rules apply. "And whosoever touches," did I read that already? Yeah. Bumble clock. Verse 28. But if she be cleansed of her issue, then she shall number her to herself 7 days, and after that she shall be clean. So after the period is over, then since you count 7 days, and on the 8th day she shall take unto her 2 turtles, or 2 young pigeons, or 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, and bring them unto the priest to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the priest shall offer one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for her before the Lord Yahweh for the issue of her uncleanness. So this is serious, all right? This isn't anything to be playing around with. There's a whole thing that you're supposed to be doing when a woman is on her period. You're not supposed to be playing with it. Here it is. Esau want to play with it to make it to make it seem like it's a mess-free issue. Now you don't got to worry about being unclean. You can go ahead and pop your woman. You just need this little plastic ring. You stick it in and have at it. No, the Lord don't say nothing about that, bro. Verse 31. Thus shall ye separate the children of Israel from their uncleanness, that they die not in their uncleanness when they defile my tabernacle that is among them. All right, so that's why they send up burnt offerings, sin offerings. This is the law of him that hath an issue, and of him whose seed goeth from him, and is defiled wherewith, and all that is sick of her flowers, and of him that hath an issue, and of the man, and of the woman, and of him that lies with her that is unclean. So this is the law of men and women, because men, you unclean too. Like when you ejaculate, you gotta wash all your clothes. You gotta take all that clothes off, and you put on different clothes. You gotta wash your sheets if any of that gets on the sheets. You know, there's a whole protocol, if you will. But Esau just throws that out the window and says, "Oh no, don't even worry about that. You can have sex. You can have mess-free sex. You don't have to worry about it. It feels great. All you need is this little ring." No, you're not supposed to even touch your woman while she's on that. Okay? You ain't supposed to be around your woman. Okay? Well, right now we're in a time of what? Grace? So obviously you can't put your woman out in America. I'm not saying that's what you got to do, brothers. All right? You got to ask for forgiveness. All right? You got to understand that we're living in a wicked world. You got to ask for forgiveness because you can't. We break a lot of laws. All right? I know a lot of you men ain't, you pop your woman at 2 in the morning. You know you ain't getting up, changing your clothes, and jumping in the shower at 4 in the morning. And I know some of you brothers probably do that, and that's beautiful. I know a lot of brothers probably don't do that. But you got to make sure you ask for forgiveness because this is serious unto the Lord. This isn't a law that we're not supposed to just, throw aside. These laws are set for a reason. When a woman is on her cycle, she's in a whole different mind state. Okay? She's in a whole different mind state. She's not supposed to be around her because when you're around your woman, if she's on her period, an argument's going to ensue. She's going to be completely irrational. She's going to snap at you. You're going to snap at her. And things happen. All right? And on top of that, she's freaking got bloody panties, man. She's unclean. She's dirty. All right? Stay away. All right? That's what the Lord is saying. This is Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 17. And there's more scriptures about this, man. I'm just bringing these up. There's a bunch in Leviticus, I believe, in the 18th chapter, 20th chapter, it talks about it too. Okay. But this is Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 17. Son of man, when the house of Israel dwelt in their own land, they defiled it by their own way and by their doings. Their way was before me as uncleanness of removed woman. So the way Israel would be going off when they had their own land, it was all unclean. It reminded the Lord of the uncleanness of a woman. So that just goes to show you the severity of a woman on her period being around the men. All right. There was this movie. It was called The Red Tent. It was a book too. It was a movie and a book. Basically, it was about Jacob's daughter, Dinah. When it was a retarded ass movie, but basically what it was about was one of the things they were showing was the woman being removed from the congregation while they were on their period. So they had a whole separate area where the women would be at. You know, there was like a red, they call it the red tent or whatever the case is, because they was on that period. And the women would be in there gossiping, talking shit, you know, away from the men. The men would not go in that shit. But the women will be in there, they'll be talking, they'll be taking care of each other. And I'm sure that's how it was. That's not really, I don't think there's a scripture talking about a red tent or anything like that, but basically it was separated from the congregation. They weren't around the men. The women will be all in there, taking care of each other, you know, talking, kiki, gossiping, and all that shit. All right? But that's how it's supposed to be. No woman's supposed to be around no man when she on a cycle. Nah, man, we are royal people. There's a royal bloodline that we have. And there's an order to everything. And you break the order, you get America. That's what happens when you break the Most High's order. Okay? So with that, I'm not going to make this any longer. The point was made. All right? The point is that Esau's disgusting. He turns everything upside down. He turns everything upside down. The Lord said, don't be around your woman when she's on period. Don't have sex with your woman when she's period. Or you're gonna make a plastic device where you can do it. Esau, you know what, man? Fuck you, Esau. The Most High's going to destroy you. He's going to take you out of power through violence, and he's going to put his men in power. He's going to take you, the so-called white man, out of power, and he's going to put his men, the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American man, back in power under the vibration of Yahweh or Yahweh Shai. That's what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of death. You want blood? Well, guess what? Blood's going to come to you. All right? You want blood so bad? You love blood so goddamn bad? Then guess what? Blood's going to pursue you.